to weigh in is Congresswoman Martha McSally from the great state of Arizona. It's so great to have you here.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, immigration and Arizona go hand in hand. Let's start there. His comments about DACA, he said he was pushing the president. He doesn't like what the president has done with the Dreamers. Now, of course, it's in the court system. Let's start with DACA and your feelings on DACA. Is there a fix that you think would be best for the Dreamers?
Look, the president has been leading on this issue. He appropriately kicked it to Congress because the last administration overreached when they came up with DACA in the first place. And I've been working with the president and leading on in the House on this issue. We've got to address the very real root issues that are impacting districts like my constituents that I represent.
Southern Arizona.
Southern Arizona.
Yeah.
I represent a southern border district, fifth-generation ranchers. We need real border security to include the border wall fully funded, plus the agents and all the technology and intel that they need. We got to close these loopholes that the cartels are taking advantage of. We got to crack down on sanctuary cities, the gangs, and all that goes with that. And then the president has shown he's willing to do something reasonable on DACA, but we've got to make sure that we're not creating more incentives for more illegal activity. And so my bill is the only bill in the House that the president supports, and we're going to keep working until we get it across the finish line.
Yeah, well, but I have to also say, when it comes to immigration, you know, a lot of the president's critics went after him, of course, the wall, you know, this big controversial wall. But from your perspective, where you're sitting in the southern part of Arizona, you say that we need that wall.
Absolutely. Look, walls work. And we've seen when we've put them up in areas like Yuma, and you combine it with having the agents down there and closing loopholes and better cooperation, it's deterring the activity. But then it pushes it into areas that I represent. If they don't have barriers, then you see the cartels trafficking through there. So we've got to have a border wall. We've got to have the agents, the access, the intelligence, close those loopholes. Look, this is not politics. The Democrats have been playing politics with this issue. They used to think border security was okay, but now they're against it just because it's President Trump's idea. And my constituents that I represent are tired of the Democrats playing politics with this. We've got cartels trafficking through their neighborhoods now.
And they've been living with it for their entire lives, we should say. There's a lot. Look, you've got a lot going on right now. You're going to be heading to North Korea. I want to talk about
South Korea, but yeah.
South Korea. Sorry. Okay. South Korea. Sorry, but we just got some news breaking on North Korea and South Korea. The North Koreans are saying they're not going to meet with the South Koreans. We're kind of in a diplomatic pickle right now, if you will. They're threatening maybe not to talk to President Trump, not do the summit. As you prepare for your trip to South Korea, what is your message going to be, and how do you make that trip a success in your opinion?
Well, I'm heading out there and leading a CODEL next weekend. We want to be able to get to the DMZ, talk to the leaders, the diplomatic leaders and the military leaders there, to be able to get eyes on and see what's happening. And look, this president has put us in a historic opportunity, but we are going in, as the president has said, very clear-eyed that we've seen the North Koreans in the past play games with this, talk the talk, but then not change their behavior. So all of the hard work is really in front of them, and the North Koreans have to decide whether they want to continue to suffer under the maximum pressure campaign, which will only get stronger with President Trump's leadership, or whether they're willing to actually find a path forward.
But how worried are you about this news that the North Koreans, could cancel the summit? I mean, a lot of work has gone into this already with Pompeo. We should be clear.
Yeah, look, they're playing games. You know, this is just breaking news. We got to see how this develops. He's got to show strength internally. We've seen them play these games before, so we got to keep moving forward. Keep the maximum pressure campaign, and keep our eyes focused on we need a verifiable, irreversible denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. That's our objective, and we got to keep our eye on the ball. And the president's leading on this, and this historic opportunity is here.
We laid new sanctions on Iran today. Quick comment on that as well.
They absolutely need it. Look, I've deployed to that region 6 times when I wore the uniform. Iran continues to be the largest state sponsor of terror. They're continuing to destabilize the region and threaten our strong ally Israel, and we need to get the vice grip starting to crank back up on them again, and I totally support the increased sanctions and pulling out of the...
You were the first female fighter pilot to fly in combat. You were in Iraq and Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia, and you're running for Senate.
And
you have a lot going on.
Yeah, now I deploy to D.C., new combat zone.
You do. It is one. That's true.
It is.
Congresswoman Martha McSally from Arizona. It's so great to have you on the show.
Yeah, good to see you.
All right. Come back soon, please.
We will, for sure.
Definitely. All right. Well, real quick as we go to break.